This video is about linear inequalities. So in previous videos you've seen videos about linear equations possibly. So linear inequalities kind of work similarly to linear equations, but there's a little bit of a difference. So instead of having an equal sign in inequalities, I have four different symbols that I can choose from. So I have this one, which means less than. I have this one, which is greater than. I have this one, which is less than or equal to. Oops. And then I have this one, which is greater than or equal to. Okay, so for example, if I had something like x is less than 5, so if I put in any number less than 5, it would satisfy that inequality. So x could be 1, x could be 0, x could be negative 1,000, x could be 1.28. Anything in there would satisfy that inequality. So as you can see, there's an infinite number of solutions when you have an inequality. So for the other one, I could have something like if x is greater than negative 2, so anything greater than negative 2 would be an answer, so 0, negative 1, 5.237, anything in there. If I have x is less than or equal to 4, so it works the same way as the previous ones, except now x could also equal 4, so it could be 4 would satisfy that inequality, and anything less than 4. And then I could have x greater than or equal to 5, and again it works the same way as this one here, but now I could have 5 as an answer as well, so whatever the number is on this side. Okay, so let's just see what on a number, so on a number line, what would, to visualize it, so what does something like x is less than 5 look like? So if I draw out a number line, and I have 0 here, and say I have 5 here, so my solutions are, I can include 5 because it's strictly less, x is strictly less than 5, but my solutions lie anywhere in that range, in that blue range. Okay, so going all the way down to negative infinity. If I put on an less than or equal to sign there, the only thing that would change now is that this would become a solid circle. So now it shows that I can also include 5 in my answer. So how do we solve linear inequalities? Well, they work very similar to solving linear equations. However, there's one thing really important that you need to remember. So if you ever multiply or divide by a negative number when you're solving an inequality, you have to switch the direction of the inequality. Okay, so if you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to switch the direction of the inequality symbol. Inequality. So let's see how that works in practice. That's the only really important thing to remember. So my first inequality, I have 2x is greater than or equal to negative 8. So to solve that, I can pretend that the inequality sign, you can treat it like an equal sign if you wanted to, and you're just solving for x. And you just have to remember that if you ever multiply or divide by a negative, you have to switch the direction of the inequality. That's it. So here I'm going to solve for x, I just have to divide both sides by 2, and I'm dividing by a positive 2, so it's not going to switch that direction of the inequality. So I'm left with x is greater than or equal to negative 4. So if I put any number greater than or equal to negative 4 into this inequality that I started with, it will satisfy it. Okay, pretty straightforward. The next one is a little bit trickier. I have one extra step, or a couple extra steps maybe. So the first thing I need to do is I need to move away this plus 1 from the left-hand side. So I'm going to subtract 1 from this side, subtract 1 from this side. So I'm left with negative 5n is less than 3. And then my last step there to solve for n, I need to divide both sides by negative 5. So here I divided by a negative number on both sides, so that means I need to flip the direction of my inequality. So what happens then is I have n now is greater than, I have to switch the direction, negative 3/5. Okay. It's okay to get a fraction as your answer. So again, any number greater than, strictly greater than negative 3/5 would satisfy the inequality above. If you wanted to check your answer, you could maybe pick something close to negative 3/5, just slightly greater than it, and plug it in for n and see if it works. Okay, it's a little bit trickier. It's tougher to check your answers for inequalities because there are an infinite number of solutions. So this one, 3x minus 7 is greater than 2. So it works almost the same as the one that we just saw. So my first step, I need to get rid of this negative 7 on the left-hand side. So I need to add 7 to both sides to cancel it out. I'm left with 3x on the left is greater than 9. So now I divide both sides by 3 to solve for x, and I'm dividing by a positive 3, so it's not going to affect the direction of the inequality. So then my answer is x is greater than 3. And then in this one here, I have 3 is less than or equal to negative 4x plus 1. So to start solving for that, I need to subtract 1 from both sides. I want to isolate that x. So I have 2 is less than or equal to negative 4x. Okay, and my last step is to divide both sides by negative 4. But you have to be careful. I'm dividing by a negative number. So then I have negative 1/2. And I have to flip that direction of the inequality is now greater than or equal to x. Okay, or you can read it as x, or it's the same thing as saying x is less than or equal to negative 1/2. So these two would be equivalent statements. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. Good luck with the assignments.